that time of year again, and in just a couple of days, hundreds of thousands of motorcyclists are going to be heading to the Black Hills of South Dakota for the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. And today we're going to give you just a few tips, if it's your first time going, that you should know about.
Just what the world needs. Another Sturgis video.
Another Sturgis video from a bunch of wannabes giving their opinion. I'm just trying to write the comments for you guys before you get to it. So, for the record, we have been, not a million times, but we've been, and we have an opinion, and we've been around it enough and heard from enough people and been ourselves to just have some little pointers for those that might be going for the first time. If you're going for the first time, it can be a little bit overwhelming.
It's completely overwhelming.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to it. And, there were some things that we had to just find out for ourselves because we really didn't,
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't really watch any videos or get a lot of, pointers.
And it was over a 2-week vacation for the group of us because we went out with we left Jersey with 5 bikes, picked up another, so we were out there with 6 bikes. Hooked up with somebody else while we were out there. We're cruising around with 7 bikes. So, I mean, it was a lot. And if you're going out there, most people do go out there with a group of friends, it can be completely overwhelming.
For sure. So just a few things we jotted down, a couple ideas that we had just based on our experience. And number one, it might be a little too late for at this point, but planning for it ahead of time is a big deal. Now, of course, you can go last minute. There's nothing that says you can't. You can find something. You can find a place to stay. But to really maximize the experience, planning is pretty key. Getting your place that you're going to stay booked early is always a big key as far as maybe getting it a little bit cheaper and whatnot, or just being able to stay where you want to stay.
Yeah.
Places will fill up. There's hundreds of thousands of people coming to a place that don't really have, the means to fit everybody, really. I mean, if you're someone that doesn't want to camp or if you're not going to be in a tent, sure, if you're going to tent, you're going to find a place and it's not going to be that crazy expensive. But really just planning ahead, saving the money, making sure you have enough money because, it's a vacation and all vacations are expensive.
It is expensive. And depending on where you're staying, booking early may not and probably won't save you money. I feel like people out there know what week Sturgis is. They know when the rally is.
Well, people get mad about Sturgis being expensive, but it's really not Sturgis. It's any kind of event like this where it's any of the rallies. I mean,
Ocean City.
Wherever you go, the hotels, the lodging is going to be double than it normally is because
Johnstown, PA.
It's supply and demand.
They're all the same.
Yeah, it's supply and demand. It's not price gouging. It's supply and demand. So, planning for it, saving for it, booking early are going to make your experience, all that's going to make your experience a lot better. So that's the first one that I had that is just like kind of a key. And we did it the first time around. We did start planning pretty early.
Way early.
And it really worked out for us. We got an Airbnb. We had a bunch of couples, so, it was expensive, but we were able to split it and really, kind of minimize that cost for everybody. But, just plan ahead, be prepared for the money and everything that goes into that because it's a big deal. It's a vacation and there's a lot that goes into it.
And it's the vacation of a lifetime for some people.
For some people, yeah. Some people might only get there once. Second thing I had was if this is your first time and you're only going for a week or less, some people only go for like the opening weekend, 2-3 days. People that are within, 6, 7, 8 hours might only come in for a long weekend. Some people might just do the week. If you're just doing the week or if you're coming to the rally for a week or less, I would say, just from my experience, don't try to do everything. There's a lot to see. There's a lot of different, famous popular roads to ride.
You could spend a month out there.
Yeah, there's historical sites. There's Mount Rushmore. There's
Crazy Horse.
There's so much. There's so much. It's a lot like, for some of you, maybe you'll get it. Some of you, maybe you won't. But it's a lot like Disney. Like, you can't plan to go to Disney for the week and just see and do everything. You're going to run yourself ragged trying to do it. So prioritize, the roads you want to ride, the things you want to see. Because the reality is there's so much riding, you could fill a whole week with just the riding.
Yeah.
But then you're never going to get downtown to the actual rally and the events going on down there.
Right.
And the nightlife and the shops and the vendors and all those things. So it's a lot, and it's a lot to try to fit into 1 week. And a lot of things are spaced out there. You get out in South Dakota, you're in wide open, God's country. It's expansive. It's crazy.
It takes time to get from one end of the Black Hills to the other. It's not like it's a quick ride. So
going,
factor that in.
Going to do like say Devil's Tower or something. That's going to be
that's a day.
That's a day. It's gonna eat up a lot of your day, and so just like don't think you have hopefully you can get back a second time. Maybe you don't, but just prioritize the things that you really want to do, because you do want to still experience the rally, right? You want to go down and walk Main Street and have a drink or two and do the vendor shopping and get a T-shirt and things like that. And people watch. I mean, it's the best people watching on the planet.
And then there's big vendors that are away from the rally over at Black Hills Harley Davidson. So that's, another little bit of a ride, and it can eat up a whole afternoon over there.
Yeah. Just kind of slow down, smell the roses, so to speak.
Take it in,
enjoy it. Don't forget to enjoy it. Don't just be go, 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 because it'll be over like that, and you'll be like, you just ran yourself ragged and you didn't take the time to really just soak it all in. So that would be my next tip on that one. And I think that's something we tried to do. We tried to see everything, and we did. We ran pretty wild.
It was the first time a lot of us were ever out. My first time in South Dakota, and I'd never seen Mount Rushmore. I'd never seen Crazy Horse, Devil's Tower. You gotta.
It's a lot.
It's a lot,
and you don't necessarily know when you're going to get back, if you're going to get back. So you try to do it, but just make sure if you are trying to do a lot, just make sure you take time to really enjoy it and soak it all in, because it's amazing. It really is.
What's next?
The next one I would say is don't worry about other people's opinions when it comes to how you're getting to Sturgis. I rode mine. I trailered. I have a toy hauler. I got an RV.
Of people trailer to Sturgis.
Don't worry about what other people say. There's always going to be people talking trash. Who cares? Mm-hmm. If you're more comfortable towing it, and maybe you don't even have an RV, you just don't want to ride. Maybe you're in Florida. You don't have time
off of work.
There's so many reasons why you might need, and it might be best for you to tow. Screw everybody else. And I know most of you don't need, to hear this. Most bikers don't need to hear, screw everybody's opinion, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about what people say, because, people love to make the joke about, riding there's the trailer week and things like that. But, if you're out there for the week, you're going to be putting down some miles. So maybe you want to be fresh when you get there. Whatever.
We were turning in 300 to 500 mile days. Easily while we were out there. So you'll get your riding in. So
do what you need to do. Do what's best for you, and don't worry about what other people have to say.
Easy one.
The next one I would say, and this might annoy some people, but I would say that if you literally just learned how to ride, you just started this year or within the last couple months, and you're still getting comfortable, maybe not the best idea to go this year. Maybe wait till next year, right? I just think with hundreds of thousands, up to 500,000 sometimes or more bikers out there filling up the Black Hills, doing all the big, the key rides, the Iron Mountain and the Needles and all that stuff. And they're not all simple rides. Some of them are a little bit technical
roads. I mean, some of them are not, but some of them are technical roads. And if you don't know where you're going, I feel like you could find yourself as a skier who shouldn't be on a double black. It's
no idea what that means.
You just get off the lift, and the only way down is the steep hills. And you could just be on a road, and you could wind up on Iron Mountain Road if you're just kind of cruising along.
Definitely not the best place to be trying to learn how to ride. It gets congested. There's a lot of people ride, and a lot of people just that do know how to ride still ride like idiots. So it's not a great place to be trying.
There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people on bikes. You need to be razor sharp in your awareness. And if you're learning to ride and you're not at that level of focus or comfort, I don't feel like it's the place for you.
Yeah,
I know plenty of people go who don't ride a lot or who but.
We were all plenty experienced and have been riding for a while, and we still had people that were people will just cut between you in the same lane, just to pass you because they just want to go faster.
We got off 90, and a guy cut between Justin and I riding staggered with one arm holding a flask in the other.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was in Sturgis 10 minutes. I was like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah. It's not really the place to learn how to ride. Give it. If you just learn how, wait till next year. Come out next year after you've gotten really comfortable. It can be dangerous. It's and you're in the Black Hills. Some of the roads can be, you're up in the hills, and some of the roads can be a little bit, you know, drop offs and things like that. So you might just want to wait. So the next thing I would talk about is what, you know, is one of the biggest things people do when they're at the rally in Sturgis is getting things installed on their bike.
Yeah.
I mean, every vendor under the sun is there.
I feel like if you're a rally person, you might get this. But if you're not a rally person, this is going to come to a shock at you.
Yeah.
Shock to you. You can't just roll up to a tent and get something installed on busy days.
Like that.
It's just not going to happen. These vendors are busy. They're packed up. You can try and make an appointment. Some people, I think, you know, will take appointments. I know, like, Olene's will tell you to come back, you know, at this time and, you know, this day usually. Some people are first come, first serve. And first come, first serve does not mean when the vendor's open. If the vendor's open at 10, you're going to be 5 deep in line sometimes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It basically, I would say, if you definitely know you want to get something installed from a specific vendor, be prepared to invest some time there at wherever that location is. A lot of those are at the Black Hills Harley in Rapid City. But be prepared to spend a lot of time there, hanging out, taking in all the vendors while stuff's getting done. Definitely does not hurt to ask them, you know, if you can make an appointment for some point in the week, you know, reach out to them either ahead of time or just when the rally starts and you get there. Maybe you're not going to get it done first day. Just swing by and say, hey, I want to get something done. Can I schedule it? Maybe they won't. I don't know if they will. Some might not. It might be first come. If it's first come, get there really early. Get there super early. Like you said, doesn't guarantee you're going to be the first one in line, but it does mean you're going to get done. You probably get done. Maybe you might be able to get out of there by lunchtime or something like that if you get there early in the morning, you know, as opposed to showing up there at 4 o'clock. And at that point, they might have so many people in line that they might not even be willing to take you that day. So
it all depends on what the vendor is, what you're having done, and all the rest of that stuff.
How complicated, how long the install is.
You know, it never hurts, and this is something that I guarantee people don't think about. If you're interested in having something done at a rally, call the vendor ahead of time. Call the vendor now. Ask them what their, you know, setup is and what their workflow is and how they take appointments and manage the flow at a rally. And that could be, you know, save you a lot of frustration and time.
Yeah, for sure.
What's next?
So next, if you're someone who wants to partake, if you want to indulge in the nightlife at Sturgis, which there is plenty of it, right? All over the place. There's bars and campgrounds that have all kinds of things going on. There's Main Street. There's all that. If you want to get your drink on at night, I would say a couple of different things. You know, stay super close to Main Street and all the nightlife, for one. Something maybe close enough to where you can either walk or you can get, there's, you know, some places have buses. Stay at one of the campgrounds, one of the big ones like the Chip or something like that, where they have all the nightlife going on there. So you don't even have to get on your bike and ride. You can party and you can drink to your little heart's content and never have an issue and make it back to your camper or campground or whatever, or tent, whatever, and not risk it, you know. So, you know, basically what we're trying to say is, don't freaking drink and drive. First of all, you're going to kill yourself or somebody else. But second of all, the cops are going to get you.
If you're going to get caught anywhere, it's going to be Sturgis.
You know,
I mean, they
have a heavy police presence, and that is one of the primary things that they're looking for is people drinking and driving. You know, the speeding, the drinking and driving are the two biggest things that they're going to get you for at Sturgis. So don't risk it. Don't ruin your vacation. Don't end up in jail. In the clink, paying a lot of money in tickets and fines, having your bike impounded, it's going to end up costing you drastically. There's so many ways that you can party like an animal and drink a ton and never have to get on your bike. Just look into those. Stay at one of the campgrounds. Stay right down in Sturgis in town, walking distance, taxi distance, shuttle distance, whatever. Just don't risk it. It's not going to be worth it. So the next thing we talked about was for all those popular roads that everybody wants to do.
Yes.
You know, the Iron Mountain Road, the Needles, the Spearfish Canyon, the Wildlife Loop, all of those where like everybody's out there during the rally. Everybody's going to do those rides. Ride them early. Ride them both early in the day before all the people that were enjoying the nightlife wake up, because that's a lot of people don't get up that early for the rally. They're out late. Get your butt up early if you want to go do those. Get out on the roads early and do them. Or
early in the week.
Early if you're one of these people that have kind of got it figured out, that come before the rally actually starts and stay till about the halfway point. So their week isn't the whole week of the rally. It's like a little before into the middle of the week. If you come before the rally starts, you're going to have a much better ride through those roads where you're not congested and you're not stopped all the time and you're not walking your bike and you're not overheating your bike because you're standing there in traffic. Do it early. Do it early, and that's going to be your best bet.
It is. Those roads get crowded, and you don't want to be stuck in traffic on some of those roads, and you want to be able to take your time, enjoy the ride, enjoy the scenery. It's, Don't do it on like a Saturday afternoon because they're going to be packed. A lot of people come to the rally just for the weekends. Those roads are going to be...
The roads are all popular. Everybody's been told, or everybody that's coming there either knows already or has been told to go ride these roads because they're amazing. They got beautiful views. They're an awesome ride. Everybody's doing them. And again, when you flood an area like that with hundreds of thousands of people, it's going to get congested. So
plus, there's still cars there.
Yeah.
There still
are cars. And you ride earlier too. You know, Sturgis gets hot, man. There's 100 degree days. So if you get out there early in the morning, is your best bet for decent weather and not sweating your sack off.
You have less of a chance of getting caught in some of those pop-up thunder and hailstorms that happen that rip through there, I think, earlier in the morning than you do in the afternoon. So
the next one is be very careful and conscious of where you're parking.
If you see nobody parked there, you probably should look a little harder and not park there.
Don't ignore no parking signs.
You will get towed.
Don't park in random businesses parking, like stores parking, and you think you're going to park there and go walk over to Main Street and be down there for 5 hours. They, during the rally, will have their own security. They will monitor these cars. If you're there more than, a certain period of time, they're just going to have you towed. It's not even the cops. They're just going to call and have you towed because it's private property and it's parking for that establishment. Be super careful. There's a ton of parking. Yes, it gets packed. And you might have to drive around a little bit and look, but don't park somewhere you shouldn't park because you will get towed and it's going to cost you a ton of money.
And I would say if you're going down there with 4 or 5 bikes, and we had this happen to us, if you're going down there with a crew, I would plan on splitting up. You're not going to park everybody together.
There's a good chance you're not going to be able to. If you get on the same block, you're good to go.
Just
the other thing to really, really be conscious of if you're out partying and maybe you're being responsible and you've partied and you've drank too much and you can't ride your bike home and you somehow get a ride home. The bikes on Main Street and down in Sturgis in town, your bikes have to be gone by 2 a.m. From 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., the streets have to be cleared because they come through and they do a cleaning. They have, the truck that does the street sweeping and all that stuff. They clean it up every night. And that's one of the reasons it stays so nice during the rally and doesn't end up looking like a crap hole with trash everywhere because they clean it up every night. And at 2 a.m., when they begin this process, the freaking tow trucks roll in and everybody that's still there is gone. They're towing it. And again, it's going to cost you a pretty penny to get your bike back. So I have not personally experienced it, but I've seen it on many videos. I was actually watching last year when I couldn't go, I was watching somebody's live stream from Main Street during the day.
Who was streaming?
And I forget who it was. And he was watching and a bunch of bikes came and parked in an area that was clearly like marked off as no parking. And the guy was filming. He was just kind of hanging out on that street. And next thing you know, tow trucks just started backing in.
They're looking,
just yanking them up one by one, because there's plenty of parking, and you got to follow the rules. I mean, it's as simple as that. They're trying to keep things structured and in order. So for everybody's best interest. So pay attention to where you park. Pay attention.
What's the last one there? Simple one that most riders don't obey by, but when you're in Sturgis, you need to. 2 bikes to a stop sign at a time. Both feet got to be down.
Right.
And a lot of times, a lot of us don't do that when we ride. Even though we should, we don't. In Sturgis, it's a thing.
So they bring in, they have like a stop sign warehouse. And they bring in stop signs and put them all over the place where they normally aren't.
But it's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's for traffic and it keeps things, organized.
Orderly and slow.
Yeah. And if you come to a stop sign, just put your feet down, put both feet down, and then you'll be fine. The last one that I had was be prepared for any kind of weather.
Oh.
So we made this mistake having no clue, right?
You sure did.
It's hot as balls during the day, right? Hot as balls. You're out in a t-shirt, cut off sleeves, some t-shirt,
sweating
jeans,
100 degrees,
sweating like crazy. You're out all day. You're riding. You go downtown. You take in the main street. You do all that. It's getting later in the evening, and maybe you're riding. Maybe you aren't staying in town. Maybe you're staying up near Deadwood, or you're staying in Lead like we were. And you got to go up into the hills.
1,000 feet.
And now the sun starts setting, it's getting darker. That temperature drops like that. And we found out the hard way. Next thing you know, you went from being what seemed like the Sahara Desert to needing full leathers.
You guys are cold when you got back.
Freezing your sack off. So if you have the ability, somehow, some way, I don't know what you're riding, not everybody's in a bagger, but have a vest, a leather jacket, long sleeves of some type.
If you're going to be out late, it gets cold.
If you're going to be out late, be prepared. Have maybe full leather jacket, maybe a heavy hoodie sweatshirt with a vest over it, gloves, all that stuff, because the temperature changes are extreme.
Yeah. Really extreme.
Especially if you're going up into the hills. If you're going up into Deadwood, you're going up in a lead up where you're getting elevation.
Yep.
It's going to be, you're not going to believe it. Like, I was amazed. Shocked.
It got cold.
Freezing.
It got cold.
And I didn't make that mistake again while we were there. So that's a big one. That's pretty much what we got, man. Those are just things that people don't really think about maybe necessarily if it's your first time. Obviously, if you've been and you're a normal, every year kind of guy, or you've just been a bunch, these things. But first timers might not think of them, might not realize it. There's just these little tips will save you and make you have an amazing trip as opposed to potentially having a really bad trip.
Or just being frustrated.
Paying a lot of money in fines and tickets and to get out of jail or to get your bike out. One last little bonus that goes along with the weather change, the animals.
The wildlife is real out there for us. I mean, we have deer, but they're not like above the hood deer. You know what I mean? They're not huge. And
the wildlife is legit.
I mean, was it Glenn who had the standoff with like the goat in Deadwood?
There's
a lot. Goat in the middle of the road. The elk are huge.
If you're riding after dark, take it slow, take it easy, keep your eyes peeled because anything could come out. Anything can come out. And if you're doing the wildlife loop,
don't pet the fluffy cows.
Not only that,
tip.
But if you get caught in one of those traffic jams because of a herd of bison like we did, just frickin' be prepared to sit there and be patient. Don't think you're going to frickin' push them out the way, just nudging them along. You risk some serious danger. I know when we got caught in it, I just shut the bike off, sat there, and just wait it out because these things are no joke. They're bigger than a vehicle. They will frickin' kill you. So stay away from them. Take it easy. Don't be revving your bike thinking you're going to intimidate them because all you're going to do is piss them off, startle them, and you're going to get run over and you're going to be getting hellavacked out of there.
And it is like if you wind up in the middle of a bunch of buffalo out in Custer State Park, it is an experience of a lifetime. When they are jogging in the field next to you when you're on the bike, you can feel it in the road.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's amazing. It's awesome.
It's an amazing thing to experience, but don't be stupid.
Be smart.
Don't get off your bike. Don't try to approach these things. Don't. They're wild animals.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get a picture from your bike.
Ain't quite nothing ruining a vacation like getting emergency helivac'd out of a place because you crashed because you were being reckless, you were drinking, or you messed with animals. So be smart. Be smart. You'll have a blast. I know a lot of people are still watching this video that we put out last year or whatever it was about reasons not to go to Sturgis. A lot of people didn't watch all of it to realize that we were really just kind of poking fun at the people that, make reasons not to go. We love Sturgis. I'm getting ready to go. George can't go this year, but you can have the time of your life out there. It can be the best vacation you ever took on a motorcycle if you just follow some of those little instructions and be safe, be patient, don't do anything stupid, and you'll have a blast.
That's it.
That's it, man.
All right. Listen, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up.
Let us know if there's things that we missed.
Yes.
You know, definitely put it in the comments, things we might have missed, maybe things you think we're wrong on, whatever. It wouldn't be the first time you guys thought we were wrong.
I'm sure.
So, yeah, we love the comments, guys. So we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Later.